Hello everybody, this is Lorraine from Canada with a verbling class for you at the intermediate level. This class is called Eavesdropping and it is a listening class. We're going to be listening for the gist in what's being said, and this means that we're just listening for words that are clues for what the people are talking about. You won't know what they're talking about exactly, but you will make a good, educated guess about what it is. And so I'll say hello to everybody as they come into the class, and we have Vu with us. Hi, Vu. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, teacher. I am having a bottle of milk to keep studying.
Okay, good. And we have Santiago. Hi. Nice to see you again. Santiago? Okay, unmute your microphone, Santiago, so we can hear you. Okay, we still can't hear you, unfortunately. There might be something going on with your microphone. Check it out, and I'll say hi to Osama. Hi, how are you doing today?
Hi, teacher. I'm doing good. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Very good. And Eduardo, hi.
Hello again.
Yes, you followed me. Very good. Glad to see you.
Thank
and
you.
We have Araceli. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Do you know, every time I look at this picture, this cartoon picture, it looks to me like she's holding a snake. I don't know why. But it looks like she's got a cobra by the neck.
Wow, a psychologist might say you have strange thoughts about it. It's like, I think it's just like a mobile phone, but it's
I'm
like
sure it is,
with
yes,
the
or a
shape of
microphone.
yes,
yeah,
but with the shape
coffin.
of a coffin. Yeah, that's it.
That. Well, that's okay. When I see Osama's icon, like in very small, it's very red, and it looks a little bit like Elvis Presley.
Yeah. For me,
just the way he's kind of lounging there, he looks like Elvis Presley. Hi, Amparo. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well.
And
I thought it was a microphone instead of a
cell phone. Yeah, it could be anything. Does this character sing, Araceli?
Sorry?
Does the cartoon character sing?
Sing? No, I don't think so.
She's just talking on the phone. Okay.
Yes. She's a ghost. She's supposed to be a ghost.
Okay.
So it's almost transparent or something.
Right, that's why she's all white.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have Raul with us. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Where are you from, Raul?
I'm from Guatemala.
From Guatemala. Oh, very nice.
I'm living in Chicago right now.
You're living in Chicago. From Guatemala and living in Chicago. And how do you like Chicago?
Yeah, it's a nice city, a nice country. The weather is crazy.
Yeah, it sure is crazy.
One day is sunny, the other day is raining, but it's summer now and it's very nice. It's a nice.
That's why people who live in this part of North America are always talking about the weather.
Yeah.
Because it's always changing. We say those people, you know, when you live in Guatemala or you live in Colombia, the weather is the weather. It's just what it is out there. It's always the same. But here, now 1 minute it's raining, then it's sunny, then it's snowing.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Welcome to the class.
Thanks.
And we have Rafa. Hi. Rafa, are you there?
Yes, sorry.
There he is.
Hi, teacher. Hi, everyone.
Hi. I think you've been in my class before, yes?
Not today, but other days.
Yeah, other days, because I recognize the cat's eye. Good. Well, nice to see you again, Rafa.
Nice
Very
to
good.
see you. Thank you.
And we have Elena. Hi, how are you doing, Elena?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Nice to see you again. And Santiago says hello in the chat.
Hello, Lorraine. Can you hear me?
I can, yes. Yay.
Oh, perfect, perfect.
Great. Oh,
How are you
super.
today?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Cool.
Very good. Okay, so let's get started with the material because this has a lot of listening to it. I'm going to share my screen share with you. Also, if you download it, it will make it easier. And if everyone clicks on my icon, then the green screen will stay on your screen. Okay, so we have a man here on the screen who is eavesdropping. What do you think eavesdropping means? Amparo?
I was about to asking you.
Well, look at what this guy is doing.
Yeah, he's trying to hear something, to
Right.
gossiping.
Possibly think of him being outside a door, and inside there are people talking.
Yeah.
And is he supposed to be hearing the conversation?
No.
No. When you're eavesdropping, it means that you're listening to a conversation that you are not really a part of. Sometimes we eavesdrop because we have no other choice. We're sitting in a restaurant and the person in the next booth is talking to their friend really loud and you have no choice. You hear what they say. That's still considered eavesdropping. You're hearing a conversation that has nothing to do with you. You're not a part of it. Okay, so that's what eavesdropping is. Whoa.
Sorry.
That's okay. If everyone keeps on mute when I'm talking, it will make a quieter classroom. Okay, so we have some things that make it very difficult to follow a conversation in a foreign language. For me, when I'm trying to listen to Spanish, most of the time I find people speak way too fast. That's my biggest problem. So I want to hear what each of you feel. What is the biggest problem for you in listening to English, for instance? So Araceli, what about you?
Well, I have heard that you say that we Spanish speak too quickly, but yes, but I think people from America speak Spanish more slowly because many English speakers have told me the same thing that you said before.
Yes, the North American brand of Spanish is much slower. Like, I don't usually have too much trouble with Mexican Spanish unless they are talking to each other. And they have, just like everybody, their quick way of talking to each other, and I can't follow it. But Spanish speakers from Spain, my goodness.
We are quick.
Even on TV or on the radio, the announcer, I can't follow. Very, very fast. So for you, Araceli, what's the problem for people speaking English?
I think probably it's the accent because I have trouble recognizing the words really. So maybe
yes.
you put many words together, and so I don't recognize the words. If you are talking slowly, or maybe I understand better. And of course the accent. I understand American accent quite well. For British is so, and for Australian I don't understand anything at all.
I've heard from other people that they think the Canadian accent sounds a lot like the Australian accent. I don't think so, but what do you think?
I don't know. I'm not so familiar with Australian accent, but with Canadian, yes, because there are few Canadian teachers here in Berlin. For me, you sound not exactly like American, not like North American, but more or less like
Mhm.
people from the States.
Yeah,
So for me, it's very easy to understand you.
yeah. We have a few words that are different from Americans, and we pronounce some things differently. But there are American accents that you would have trouble with. If you get into the deep South in America, oh, that's difficult to understand,
Yeah.
even for me.
Yes, when I watch some movies, I don't understand anything because they use a lot of slang and
Yeah.
they speak very quickly, and I don't get it. Sometimes I'm reading the subtitles and I just can't believe they are saying what is written below. For me,
Sometimes they're not. With
right?
subtitles, sometimes not.
Yes, but
Okay, Eduardo, how about you? What do you find difficult when you're listening to a conversation in
Well,
English?
I think it's the same as Araceli said, the speed, how they talk, because now with teacher or even in television, I like to watch a lot of movies and TV series in television all over the world, so I don't have problem with the accent. For me, it's more the dialect and the speed. They when they try to speak really putting words together, not
Mhm.
contraction. They join the word and
Yes.
speak really quickly. And
Yeah,
there is
that.
some movies from the United States that they start speak. I don't know with gangs. I mean,
Mhm.
and black people. Yeah, I don't know why, but in New York, for example, they have a strong accent. They speak really quickly, and it's really complicated to understand. I have to put
Yeah.
subtitles to understand them, but not with the accent, just maybe dialects, because the South is accent of the United States, as you mentioned, is complicated, but I can understand them. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, you're talented for that then.
Well, I've been watching movies and TV series for a
Ah,
long time, so that's why I can understand much more
right.
than speak. Yeah.
The one thing about the Southern accent in the States is they speak quite slowly. The way they say the words are different, but they speak it very slowly as a rule. They have
Yeah.
a drawl. Y'all come
Houses.
back now, yeah?
Yeah.
Elena, what do you find difficult about listening to English? If you're not necessarily part of the conversation, you're just listening to English speakers speaking.
Well, the same that the other people have said, but well, mm, I find very difficult when there is a conversation and you miss the context. Perhaps people
Ah,
uh, mm, uh, begin to speak about something, and the conversation goes and goes, and um, in some point you don't know how is the issue, so
right.
you don't know what is the theme, and you can't contextualize the the little the few words you understand that you don't know where mm, where put them.
Right. So you're not getting the context from the words you hear. You're still not sure what they're
Yes,
talking about. Yeah.
because
Okay.
if you know the issue,
Right.
you can imagine. Perhaps you are imagine all wrong, but you can think, well, I
But you have
understand it.
some idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
I don't know what's the theme. Yeah, so well, that
Well,
that can be difficult.
hopefully this lesson will help there, because that's one of the things we're going to do is listen to some conversations where we don't know what they're talking about, but we're going to try to pick out words and figure out what they might be talking about from these key words. that they've said. So that's the whole point of this particular lesson. So maybe that will help you. Osama, what about you? What do you find difficult? How
Okay,
about,
I think
I was
yes.
just going to say, how about if you're talking to an English person on the phone? Is it harder than when it's in person?
Absolutely, quite hard. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. For me, the only problem is the slang, colloquial language, or
Right. So that's more a vocabulary thing where you just don't know what the word means. So you learn all this wonderful language in your English classes, but none of it is spoken on the street. Yeah, you have to learn all the...
Yes. Also, black people speak a very bad language, I think.
Well, they have their own way. It's not...
It's called Ibanic, right?
I'm not sure. Here in Canada, we don't have too much of it. In Canada, we have a lot of influence from the States, but the black language originates from the U.S. So whatever we have here in Canada is part of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know it myself.
Yeah, also sometimes they speed up, sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in general, I don't have problem with speed. It's okay.
Okay. But when it's very fast and they're using a lot of colloquial language, it gets hard.
That's terrible.
Okay. Who's next here? Rafa. What about you? What do you find difficult listening to English speakers?
As my mate said before, when people from America join 3 or 4 words all together in a word, is so difficult for me to understand. Also, people with a close accent that, but there are also idioms and many idioms I can understand properly.
Right.
But perhaps the most difficult for me is phrasal verbs, because the meaning of the verbs change a lot with a particle of another particle. If you are using out or in, is different, and it has no a correct definition. There is no rule in English.
Yeah.
Perhaps this is the most difficult for me to phrasal verbs. It's difficult to get it.
Okay, so the construction of the sentences causes some problems because of how the verbs are used. Okay, Raul, what about with you? What do you find difficult, if anything, when you're listening to English?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as the other student.
Okay.
The fast. Sometimes they speak fast, or when they're in a group, they're speaking just like they speak every day. So you have to keep on the conversation, and when it's pretty fast, it's kind of hard.
Okay. Santiago. Unmute your microphone, Santiago, and tell me what you find the hardest about English.
Well, I think that very similar to the rest of the students. It's just, for example, when someone is not talking to you, they are talking in a group of people or something like that. Sometimes it's really difficult to understand what are they saying, or about the context of the conversation or something like that. Or for example, when I'm watching TV, for example, the news on the presenter is talking very fast, or it's the same reasons. I think.
And the other thing that happens, and probably happens in all languages, when there's a group of people, they don't always speak in full sentences. Sometimes it's just parts of sentences because the other person already understands what the conversation is about. You'll see that with couples quite often. One will finish the sentence of the other, or they'll just say a word and the other one will say yup, and they all know what they're talking about. But Vu, what about you? What do you find the hardest with English, hearing it?
The most difficult to me is I'm not sure what the conversation is about. Sometimes the native speaker speak so fast, and I got some new vocabulary, so I can't catch up with their speech. So I can understand what they are speaking.
Right.
So yes.
You're trying to already translate what they first said, and you miss the rest of it. That happens to me all the time. Yeah, and English is a funny language in that sometimes you miss the first word, and you don't know then whether it is something the person is being positive about or negative about. It's like I can go to the cinema tonight. Well, I'm not sure whether this person says they can go or they can't go, because that's so close. So then I have had arguments with my husband because I thought he was saying one thing, but really we were in agreement. So you have to be careful. Okay, so we're going to listen to some conversations. We'll listen to them one at a time. So I'm going to play the first conversation. I'll play it a couple of times. And then we're going to answer the questions: who is speaking and what are they talking about? Okay, so listen carefully. Everybody's got their microphones muted, so it's quiet. Here we go.
Put it further in this evening, off the sidewalk and nearer the house. Then they won't feel so confident about climbing up.
I can't see how that will help. Mrs. Growley and her son have theirs more or less on the veranda, and they still get in. We need to put the lid on every night.
We do.
No, I mean with something on top. Go and find a heavy rock or something. We can't have this mess every morning.
Good idea. I'll go and do it now.
Okay, I'm going to play that again.
Put it further in this evening, off the sidewalk and nearer the house. Then they won't feel so confident about climbing up.
I can't see how that will help. Mrs. Growley and her son have theirs more or less on the veranda, and they still get in. We need to put the lid on every night.
We do.
No, I mean with something on top. Go and find a heavy rock or something. We can't have this mess every morning.
Good idea. I'll go and do it now.
Okay, so who do you think is speaking? Like, it doesn't have to be their names, but are they friends? Are they married couple? Who do you think is speaking? Osama.
A couple
Okay.
are speaking here.
Yeah, it's a couple. It's a man and wife, probably. Or
Yeah,
they
wife
could
and
be friends, possibly friends, but husband and wife, I suspect. Okay, so Elena, do you have any idea what they're talking about?
No.
Okay.
Definitely no.
Definitely not. Okay, Eduardo, do you have any idea what they're talking about?
Sorry, I went to make a minty and I come back right now.
Well, then you didn't hear it at all. Okay. Let's see, Rafa? Unmute your microphone, Rafa, and tell me if you have any idea what they're talking about. Did everybody go for coffee? Raul, what about you?
I heard something about somebody's son.
Okay, possibly. Araceli? Unmute your microphone, Araceli.
Yes, I'm sorry. I did leave, and I just heard once. I'm not sure. They were talking about some litter or something. I don't know what the meaning of that word. Maybe I thought they were trying to something with the garden or camping, something like that. They were just trying to arrange something in a better way. But I didn't catch the exact meaning.
Okay, that's okay. Let's see. Santiago, what do you think? What were they talking about?
I think. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I think they are doing some plans to go to somewhere, but I'm not sure. And they told something about their son, or because I'm not sure.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's all right. Amparo?
Well, I think it is a couple that is talking about the man just wasn't talking with a neighbor, I suppose, that he is going to climbing up, or something like that.
Okay. Anything else?
So just at the end, I said it's no idea. I got it now, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's Boo. What do you think?
I think they are going to prepare for their breakfast. They are going to buy something.
Okay, that's all really interesting what everybody gets out of this. I'm going to give you a one-word clue, and you're going to listen to it again and try to see if you can figure out what they're doing and why. All right, so the clue I'm going to give you is animal. Animal. Okay, now listen carefully.
Put it further in this evening, off the sidewalk and nearer the house. Then they won't feel so confident about climbing up.
I can't see how that will help. Mrs. Growley and her son have theirs more or less on the veranda, and they still get in. We need to put the lid on every night.
We do.
No, I mean with something on top. Go and find a heavy rock or something. We can't have this mess every morning.
Good idea. I'll go and do it now.
All right. So, anybody want to volunteer a possibility here? What's happening?
The pet of the neighbor is going made some mess in their area.
Okay, it's not the neighbor that made the mess. Think
the
animal.
Dog, no, the pet.
Okay. Araceli, were you saying something?
Yes, I think they are speaking about a dog. I'm not sure, but maybe the dog is trying to do something in the garden and breaking something or causing a mess, and they are trying to avoid the animal to do that. I'm not sure if there's their own dog or the neighbors. I'm not sure that something.
Okay, well, it doesn't tell us what animal it is. It might be a dog, possibly. And also, this situation is very specific. It's happens in North America a lot. So, anybody else got some ideas of what's happening here? Eduardo?
Well, the wife is saying that put a heavy rock or something because every morning it's happening again. So maybe it's some kind of animal who climb to a tree and go into the house for some window.
Okay, so they're talking about something that they put out at night. They put it out And in the morning, it's empty. But in between, an animal comes and gets into it.
It's like
Yes, I
I
think
think
that the
it's
can
like
crash and they have to put a stone on it.
Yes. Okay. And who else was talking?
I think they are protect their house from a snake.
Okay, possibly a snake. In North America, this happens because of an animal called a raccoon. A raccoon is an animal that is an omnivore, meaning it eats both meat and plants. So it will eat anything that you put out in the garbage. So when you put your garbage can out at the side of the road for the garbage man to empty, which is what happens here in North America, before, in the middle of the night, the raccoons will come, knock the lid off the garbage can, knock the garbage can over, pull all the garbage out all over the place. They make a terrible mess. And so this is what they're talking about, how to prevent the raccoons from getting into the garbage. So listen one more time and listen for this, okay?
Put it further in this evening, off the sidewalk and nearer the house. Then they won't feel so confident about climbing up.
I can't see how that will help. Mrs. Growley and her son have theirs more or less on the veranda, and they still get in. We need to put the lid on every night.
We do.
No, I mean with something on top. Go and find a heavy rock or something. We can't have this mess every morning.
Good idea. I'll go and do it now.
Okay, so does everybody hear what's happening now? What are they going to do to prevent the animals from getting into the garbage? Raul?
Yeah, they're gonna put something heavy on the top, and so
Right.
it doesn't happen again.
Right, keep them out. Good. Okay, so this is animals getting into the trash cans. All right, let's try conversation number 2. Now, when you listen, try to pick up some key words. Just hear some of the words, because I'll ask you at the end what words you heard, and then we'll try to put together what the conversation was. So I'll play it twice, and then we'll start to talk about it. Here we go.
I still can't understand a word.
I don't see which button I'm supposed to push.
Oh, that did something. Now there are subtitles. Great.
Are you sure there's English on this?
Yes, it's Spanish, but it'll be on there too. Go back to the start.
Yes, that's the best idea.
Look, down in the bottom right corner. You can change it there.
Great. Switch off the light and don't step on my popcorn when you come back.
Okay, I'll play it again. See if I can get it queued up here.
I still can't understand a word.
I don't see which button I'm supposed to push.
Oh, that did something. Now there are subtitles. Great.
Are you sure there's English on this?
Yes, it's Spanish, but it'll be on there too. Go back to the start.
Yes, that's the best idea.
Look, down in the bottom right corner. You can change it there.
Great. Switch off the light and don't step on my popcorn when you come back.
Okay. So first of all, who's speaking? Vu? Who do you think they are?
I think they are friends.
Okay, friends or maybe husband and wife, possibly. Same people. Okay, very good. Okay, so what words did you hear? Santiago. Santiago?
Yeah. Well, let me think. They said something about a store.
Okay.
Or and a bar in the corner to change. I don't know what.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. All right. Raul, what did you hear?
Well, I heard a few words, subtitles, popcorn, movie, Spanish.
Okay.
They didn't understand They didn't understand the movie or whatever they're watching.
Okay. So you get the impression they're watching something. What do you think it is?
Probably a movie, and probably it's not in English, and they don't know where to change the subtitles. I
Very
guess.
good. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's going on. Did other people get that? What did you hear, Rafa?
Yeah, I heard in the second time that they were a husband or a wife or friends that was talking about one movie. They couldn't get anything, and they tried to find out where is the switch, the button to change the subtitles. And the girl says there are subtitles in Spanish or in English, and they at the end find out where is the switch button right on the corner. The husband said to his wife, "Please change it and don't forget to get back with popcorns."
Okay. All right. Actually, he says, "Don't step on my popcorn."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So did other people get that? Did it sound to you, Osama, like they were going to watch a movie?
Well, because my connection is, you see, yeah,
Having trouble. Okay. Well, then I'll pass you over this time and talk to Elena. Elena, unmute your microphone so we can hear you. There we are.
Yes.
Okay. So what words did you hear?
Yes. Well, I have subtitles, English, Spanish. Well, I got the general meaning this time.
Okay, good.
Looking at first, I think they are watching the movie or whatever in Spanish, and they say, well, if there are Spanish subtitles, there might be English as well. I think, I'm not sure.
Right.
So
well,
they look for them.
Very close. Yeah, good. All right, Eduardo, did you get it?
Yes, I think this one is a slow conversation, more slower than the last one.
Okay.
They say, I think it's a DVD, because
Yeah.
they say come back to the start, so maybe they have a lot of different languages and they have to choose the right one, I suppose.
Right. Yeah.
Or
No,
maybe
you're right. That's exactly correct. It was a DVD they're watching. Yeah. And Araceli, you've changed your picture. Araceli, are you there?
No, she wrote, "Be right back."
Oh, is that right? Okay. I just saw it. Okay. Then Amparo,
Yes.
you got this conversation okay?
Yes, yes.
All right. So the answer to this one is about trying to switch the language on a DVD. All right, good. So we have another one. We have several. Okay, so here we go. We'll play it twice and then answer the questions. Here we go.
It's supposed to be 70% covered, but it looks perfectly normal. Are you sure we'll be able to see it in this area?
It isn't time yet. You have no patience. They said it would be 12 minutes after 3. We still have another 10 minutes or so.
Is it true the birds are going to stop singing?
I'll believe it when I see it, or rather hear it. I'm going to go and get the paper to see it with.
That's what you've been doing all morning.
Yeah, well, they said you could go blind looking at it, so this is the safest way.
Okay. Can I get everybody to mute microphones because we're getting some noise in the background? I'll play it one more time. Oops. Here we go.
It's supposed to be 70% covered, but it looks perfectly normal. Are you sure we'll be able to see it in this area?
It isn't time yet. You have no patience. They said it would be 12 minutes after 3. We still have another 10 minutes or so.
Is it true the birds are going to stop singing?
I'll believe it when I see it, or rather hear it. I'm going to go and get the paper to see it with.
That's what you've been doing all morning.
Yeah, well, they said you could go blind looking at it, so this is the safest way.
Okay, this one is a little more puzzling, but I'm just going to ask you what words you picked out of that. Amparo? Well, first of all, who's speaking? Who's speaking?
I don't know. Maybe again a couple.
Yeah, a couple or some friends. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, what words did you hear?
It's percentage, the perfectly normal, 12 minutes after 3. You have to be patient.
Okay.
You have 10 minutes. I have to go to see the papers. What more?
Okay. Do you have an idea of what they might be talking about?
No, they're following some instructions. They have directions in a paper, but I don't understand the idea completely.
Okay, good. Araceli, I see your back, but did you hear the audio?
Yes. I guess they're waiting to watch an eclipse.
Oh, wow. Okay. What makes you think that?
Because they say you can. Well, they are waiting. Somebody said it's a time, but they are waiting. But it's like a frame of time. It's between this time and this other time. And the most important thing, they say you can't go blind if you look at it or something like that.
Okay.
But I don't understand that about looking at the paper. And he said you've been looking at the paper all the morning. I'm not sure.
Okay, so what that was about, she made a special paper to look at the eclipse with. There, you can, I don't know, I've never made one, but you can make something that you hold up and you look through it, because if you look directly at the eclipse, you can damage your eyesight. So you look through the paper and then you can see the eclipse. So that's what the paper thing was all about. So it looks like lots of people got that. What about Rafa? Did you hear it? Did it make sense to you that it was an eclipse?
Yeah. Yeah, they were talking about the eclipse, as you said before. They need to use a paper or a piece of glass to protect their eyes from the bright of the sun, because it's so very dangerous. If you look directly to the sun, eclipses is a bad advice for everything.
Right, yeah, it's very bad for your eyesight. Okay, so yeah, Araceli, I agree. You need to darken glass, not a paper. But I'm assuming that in this conversation, that's what they're talking about, is the paper that they're going to use to look through. I don't know. So we'll go on to the next one because we're getting low on time. Listen to conversation 4, and then we'll be starting with Vu when we listen to the next one. Okay, so listen for the words. Try to figure out what they're talking about. Here we go.
Do you think the weather was a cause, Miss Tandy?
I don't think so. It wasn't raining at the time. That started soon afterwards. He wasn't looking. That was the main problem.
Who wasn't looking?
The guy on the bike. You know they go so fast. They think that they can do anything they want. He looked left. He was there right in front of me. But he didn't look right, and that was where that poor woman came from.
She wasn't being dangerous, you don't think?
Oh, no. She only hit the pole because she was trying to avoid him. It was all him, you know.
Oh, I forgot to check where I started there. Up there.
Rather hear it. I'm going to go and get the paper to see it with.
That's what you've been doing all morning.
Yeah, well.
Sorry, I
go
forgot
blind
to
looking at it,
figure out
so
where to
this
cue
is the
this.
safest
One
way.
second. Here we go.
Do you think the weather was a cause, Miss Tandy?
I don't think so. It wasn't raining at the time. That started soon afterwards. He wasn't looking. That was the main problem.
Who wasn't looking?
The guy on the bike. You know they go so fast. They think that they can do anything they want. He looked left. He was there right in front of me. But he didn't look right, and that was where that poor woman came from.
She wasn't being dangerous, you don't think?
Oh, no. She only hit the pole because she was trying to avoid him. It was all him, you know.
Okay, so conversation 4. Vu, who do you think is speaking?
I think they are classmates.
Classmates?
Yes.
Possibly, possibly. What do you think they're talking about? What words did you hear, first of all? Just the words.
I just hear running out of time.
Okay.
I hear they talk about other person who has maybe he's fighting a girlfriend.
Okay.
Yes,
Do you get the impression that there are any vehicles involved? A car, a bicycle? What did you hear? Anything like that? No?
I hear maybe it's run too fast.
Okay, so he rides too fast. All right. Okay, good. Santiago, what did you?
Well, I heard a bike. Is this possible?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And firstly they were talking about the weather, about rain, about
Okay, they were talking about raining. It was raining. Mm-hmm.
So maybe they were talking about going for a run with their bikes or something like that.
Okay. Anything else you heard?
I don't remember right now.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Raul, what did you hear? Raul, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I heard that they were like witnesses for an accident.
Okay, yes, very good. So who do you think is speaking here?
It's probably a couple of friends or a couple, you know.
Okay.
And they were just talking about the accident and whose fault was.
Okay.
And
So whose fault was it? Was it the bicycle fault or the car?
it was the guy in the bicycle.
Okay, guy in the
Yeah,
bicycle.
he wasn't looking, so the lady in the car had to hit a post or something.
Yeah, she hit a pole. She hit a pole.
Oh.
So maybe a telephone pole or a hydro pole. But yeah, she hit a pole in order to avoid the bicycle. Mm-hmm. Okay, Rafa, what did you hear?
I couldn't hear because my connection doesn't run properly. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. No problem. Elena, did you hear something? What did you hear?
Yes. Well, at the beginning they are talking about if the rain could be the cause of the accident, but the woman said that it wasn't because it began to rain afterwards.
Right.
And,
Okay.
yeah, and she continues talking about the boy in the bike, how she um, looked in on the left, but not to the
Not
left,
to the
but not
right.
to the right.
Right.
So it was his fault, and well, the woman is not seriously damaged.
Okay. Who do you think is speaking in this situation? Who are the speakers?
Well, I'm thinking now that perhaps it's a woman, a witness of the accident, and a policeman, or
Yeah. Good.
yeah, but
That's what we wanted.
at first I thought it was a couple, just a
Yeah.
couple
Well,
of
it
friends.
would be hard
But
to. Yeah. That's why
it
we
makes
play it
sense.
twice. Very good. Excellent. Eduardo, what did
Yes,
you
I think
hear?
yeah, the same as Helena. It wasn't raining. The guy in the bike was really fast. He wasn't looking. They do whatever they want, she says.
Yes.
And he looked left, but don't look right. And a poor woman was coming from there. And she, I suppose, is driving the car, and the bike is in front of her car. And try the bike guy tried to avoid, I suppose, the woman and go to the car, and she tried to avoid the bike and hit a pole. No?
Right. So she hit the pole instead of hitting him. Okay. So very good. They were talking about the traffic accident. All right. Let's see if we can get the last conversation in. Okay. Here we go. Everyone's on mute. Okay. Here we are.
Did you do all the questions?
I didn't have time to do the last one. I know I'm going to fail.
I didn't even understand the first one, you know, the compulsory one. I wrote about 3 paragraphs and left it.
I was okay on that one, but in section 2, you had to choose 3. There were only 2 I could do.
But you studied so much.
Well, I think I studied the wrong things, didn't I? My parents are going to be furious.
I'll have to spend the whole summer studying to take it again.
All right. We'll play it one more time. About there, I think.
Put it further in this evening.
Okay, here we go. Oh, having trouble queuing again. There.
Did you do all the questions?
I didn't have time to do the last one. I know I'm going to fail.
I didn't even understand the first one, you know, the compulsory one. I wrote about 3 paragraphs and left it.
I was okay on that one, but in section 2, you had to choose 3. There were only 2 I could do.
But you studied so much.
Well, I think I studied the wrong things, didn't I? My parents are going to be furious.
I'll have to spend the whole summer studying to take it again.
Okay. So, let's see. Rafa, who is speaking here?
I guess there are 2 mates from the same classroom. They are making an exam.
Exactly, yeah. Their friends or students, and they're taking an exam. All right. So, what words did you hear, Ro?
They were talking about some paragraphs, some they were talking about. He was saying that she studied too much, but she thinks she studied the wrong things.
Yeah, that's always a pain, isn't it? When you study like crazy, but you find out it's the wrong things.
Yeah.
Okay, Elena, what did you hear?
Yes, well, I think I have understood this one quite well.
Okay.
There are a couple of students, and I don't remember now, but one of them, the boy, I think, no, the girl didn't finish the sum because the second part has three parts, and she could only do two of them, and the boy didn't understand, even didn't understand the first part, and well, so they are going to fail this time, and they have to study all summer again.
Yeah, they're going to have to study it all again. So hopefully everybody got that. That was pretty good explanation for what happened in that conversation. Well done. Okay. So we already did this part. We made the list of words that helped you work out what each conversation was about. And that's the key to understanding conversations. You don't always have to get every word, but you do have to get some of the words. And then hopefully you can figure it out from the context. If not, if you have a chance to ask for one key word, such as in the first conversation that we looked at about the animal, nobody could really figure it out until I said animal. And as soon as I gave you that clue, you could put everything else into context. Are there any other questions or comments about what we learned? No?
Also,
Okay.
if I heard properly, in this listening at the beginning, they were talking about one compulsory question. It was right? Compulsory question to the
In
first
which
one?
conversation? In the first
In
one?
the last one. In the last one.
Oh, in the
last
last
one.
one. Yeah, in the last one. Yeah, there was a compulsory question. That means it has to be done. This is, you don't get a choice. This one has to be done. Yeah. Good question. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully it was useful to you. You guys did awesome. And hopefully I'll see you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.